Hello everyone. We'll be discussing in this class the minor losses and also some problems on pipe flow. Okay. Equation for head loss due to sudden expansion and some numerical problems on that. That is what we will be covering in this session. We'll straight away go. Okay, this was the problem given in the last class. Hope you have tried. We'll see how to solve this. I'll read the problem once again. The two pipes have length each L. Both the lengths are L. One of them has diameter D. The other diameter is D. So if I just note the things, there is length L and then another length is also L. So the same length L and L, but the diameters capital D on one side, lowercase letter d on the other side. If the pipes are arranged in parallel, the loss of head when a total quantity of discharge is Q. So in both the cases, if the total discharge is Q and then if they have arranged it in parallel manner, the head loss is H if it is parallel case. If it is in series, that is one in front of the other, and if the same discharge Q passes, they say, but if the pipes are arranged in series and the same quantity Q flows through them, the loss of head is capital H. So H is the head loss when they are arranged in series. When they are arranged in parallel, then the head loss is H. And this D is equal to D by 2. There is a relation. Now find the ratio of H by H. Neglecting secondary losses, take F equal to a constant in both the cases. We'll see. Okay, here I have drawn a figure for series. So when I place a length L of diameter D and coefficient of friction F, and another pipe is put in front of that of length the same L, but the diameter is D, F is same, and when Q enters, the same Q continues to move all along. So when pipes are in series, the head loss is capital H. If I write equation for head loss in each of the branches, so 8 FL Q squared divided by G pi squared D raised to 5, and for this branch 8 FL Q squared, everything is same, G pi squared, so D raised to 5. Now just to rearrange, I have kept the same thing here, but multiply and divide by D raised to 5, D raised to 5, and now I take this term, that is this particular term as a common. So 8 FL Q squared divided by G pi squared D raised to 5 as a common. So this will be 1 here, plus here in the denominator will be left with the lowercase letter D raised to 5, and this is also remaining, but this I'll take it down so that it becomes D by D raised to 5. Now this is nothing but capital D by D raised to 5. Capital D by D is 2. 2 raised to 5 is 32. 32 plus 1 is 33. So this becomes 33 8 FL Q squared divided by G pi squared D raised to 5. This is what is capital H. Now if you arrange these pipes in parallel, okay, here they are in parallel, length L, capital D, lowercase letter d, FF, entering discharge is Q, the outgoing discharge is Q, but how much flows in each of the pipes we don't know. We'll write it as Q1 plus Q2, Q1 and Q2, but addition of them should be equal to Q. So in parallel, Q is equal to Q1 plus Q2. Now head loss from this point to this point is H. and in parallel you know that head loss in this branch is equal to head loss in this branch. That's why I can write H equal to 8FL Q1 squared divided by G pi squared d raised to 5, which should be equal to 8FL Q2 squared divided by G pi squared this d raised to 5. Now if you cancel off common terms, what you will get is Q1 squared is equal to this d raised to 5 goes on the other side, d by d raised to 5 Q2 squared. Now this d by d raised to 5 is 32, and taking root on both the sides, Q1 is equal to root 32 into Q2. So I got two equations. Clubbing them, I'll take this Q is equal to Q1 is root 32 Q2 plus Q2. Hence Q becomes 6.657 Q2, or Q2 becomes 0.1502 Q2 becomes. Now I'll use this Q2 for calculating H. Now H is equal to this expression I've used, 8FL Q2 squared divided by G pi squared d raised to 5. Okay, now if I substitute for Q2 as 0.1502 Q, it will be like that, right? So divided by G pi squared, but this d raised to 5, this d is nothing but d by 2, I'll put it as d by 2 raised to 5. I could have as well used this also, but anyway, so H is equal to 8FL by G pi squared into 0.1502 squared Q squared d raised to 5 by 32. Okay, this H is equal to 8FL G pi squared into some number Q squared divided by d raised to 5. Here also you got Q squared divided by d raised to 5. What is this number? That is important part here. And if you take the ratio this capital H by H, what you get is this way. H by H will be equal to this 33 Q squared remains on the top, divided by this 32 into 0.1502 squared, etc. comes in the denominator. Q squared cancels off, the ratio becomes 45.711. So it's an interesting problem wherein just the notations are used and then the information is given. Now you know how to handle that information. So this is a good problem which couples both pipes in series and pipes in parallel. The idea of parallel, that is head loss in each of the branch is same. The idea of series, that is Q remains the same, but head loss is sum of the head losses in each of the pipe branches. So that is what we have used, and then a little more of sense of maths or common sense will lead to H by H ratio. Okay, next. Pipes in parallel. There is one more problem. Purposely I have not taken the dictated terminology as far as question is concerned. You can, or you should be able to make out, given the problem, how this arrangement of pipe and reservoirs are. Now in this case there is diameter 0.2 meters running for 2000 meters. The head difference in reservoirs is given to be 20 meters. Head lost is 20 meters because of the friction, and neglecting minor losses, you have to find the discharge. Very simple, very straightforward problem. HF is equal to, as far as this condition, this instant is concerned, it is 20 meters, which is equal to 8FL Q squared divided by G pi squared d raised to 5. 8F is given, L is given, Q is to be found, G pi squared d is given, 0.2 raised to 5. So only unknown in this equation is 50.8 liters per second cube. If you use this equation, just watch here. You will be getting V. Once you find V, using the diameter A into V, right? Area of cross section of the pipe you have to find out, multiplied by V gives you the discharge. Even that should give you the same answer, but because the Q is directly involved, it is wise to use this equation rather than this equation. That's all. Okay. Now further in this problem, what is done is, look at this. For 800 meters pipe is kept same, but for remaining 1200 pipe they have added one more pipe like that of 1200 meter having the same diameter 0.2 meters, right? And they have added parallel to the earlier pipe, one more pipe is added and joined to the reservoir. Now earlier pipe is anyway 0.2 meters. Now whether the discharge remains the same or it increases, it should increase. You can see the end answer that it has increased. Now how to calculate that? Okay, we'll keep the discharge in this particular stretch of the pipe as Q1, and Q1 breaks into Q2 and Q3, right? So to say, we can write Q2 and Q3 is equal to Q, because the same head is lost, same diameter, same length, everything is same, right? Now Q1 should be equal to Q2 plus Q3. So Q1 is equal to Q2 plus Q3. In that, if you use Q2 and Q3 as Q here, so Q1 is equal to 2 into Q. Therefore 0.5 Q1 is equal to Q. Means the discharge in each of these pipes is half of the Q1, 0.5 Q1, right? Now the head loss in BC, right, is equal to 8FLQ2 squared divided by G pi squared D raised to 5. That is head loss from B to C in the top pipe, original pipe. If you take 8FLQ2, you can just see here Q2 square divided by G pi 0.2 raised to 5. And if you take the branch below, this gives you 8FLQ3 squared G pi squared 0.2 square raised to 5. This gives you a proof for this statement. That is Q1 and Q2, Q2 and Q3 are same, right? If you take both roots, obviously this leads to Q2 equal to Q3. This should have come there because I have just intuitively taken that. Anyway, proof is provided for Q2 equal to Q3, right? Now the total head lost is 20 meters, and this should be head loss from A to B and head loss from B to C. So HAB plus HBC should be equal to 20. So this 20 is equal to, now A to B is what? Q1, 8FL Q1 square divided by G pi square 0.2 raised to 5. This is first part, plus this particular part. So 8FL, and in each of the pipes it is 0.5Q, 0.5Q1 raised to squared divided by G pi squared. Pipe is diameter is same, raised to 5. The only unknown in this equation is Q1. So Q1 becomes 0.0685 meter cube per second. Q1 means the discharge that is coming in this pipe, which will be same at the end. So this becomes 68.5 liter per second, which is obviously a more discharge compared to 50.8. How much is the percentage discharge if you want? This minus this divided by original discharge, right? Okay. Now friction head loss in pipes, one more problem, June-July 2009 question paper, question number 6C. So a pipeline has got 0.225 meter as diameter. This is diameter 0.225 or 22.5 centimeters. 1580 meters long. It is 1 in 200 slope for 790 meters and 1 in 100 slope in another 790 meters. The pressure at A is 107.91 kilopascals. Pressure at B is 53.955 kilopascals. Now what they are asking is the discharge. Okay, we'll put this information in the form of a figure. If you can try, you can pause the video and then try to draw the sketch for this given problem. There is a slope 1 in 100 and 1 in 200 for a length of 790. Okay, I'll show you here. The sketch will be something like this. First is, they said 1 in 200. So 1 in 200, and it goes through a distance of 790. Because the angle is too less, maybe this inclined length or almost horizontal length, they are remaining the same. We can assume it so, right? Hardly there will be any difference. That's why we have assumed it as 790. The fall from this level to this level, this fall I have represented as y2. I don't know why I have called it as y2. Anyway, this is y2. Now from there, with a slope of 1 in 100, another 790, the fall is y1. Okay. Now this is what is given. Now they are asking for the discharge. Given the pressure at this point, this if you call it as A, here I have denoted it. Point B is here, the pressure at B is given. Now using all that you have learned, you should be able to find out the discharge. Now we'll see how to go ahead. Okay. Now you can see here, from the geometry I can calculate what is the values of y1 and y2. It is easy. From this triangle you can just see here, 1 by 200 is equal to y2 by 790. I have written here 1 by 200 equal to y2 by 790. From there y2 will be getting 3.95 meters. Now here also vertical side 1, horizontal 100. So 1 by 100 equal to vertical side y1 divided by 790. From this y1 will be equal to 7.9 meters. So 7.9, 3.95, the total head over here, if you call it as potential head, if you consider this as the datum of reference, and ZB, that is potential head at B equal to 0, then ZA, that is ZA, is equal to 7.9 plus 3.95, it's 11.85 is ZA, right? Now further, okay, here by Bernoulli's equation, what is Bernoulli's equation? The total energy at A equal to total energy at B plus the head lost in running from A to B, that is HF, from A to B. Okay, now PA is given, PA by gamma, it's given here, PA plus VA squared by 2Z, the same diameter it is 0.225, so VA squared by 2Z plus ZA, that is 11.85, is equal to PB is given divided by 9.81 plus PB squared by 2Z plus ZB equal to 0 plus HF. ZB is considered 0 because ZA is 11.85, right? ZB is 0. Then VA and VB are same because the same diameter is running, because of that they cancel off. So HF will be equal to 5.5 plus 11.85. This 11.85 plus this and this, it will be 5.5. So this HF should be equal to You could have done it as FLQ squared divided by G pi squared d raised to 5. That would have been easy, but anyway, here I have used FLV squared by 2CD. Now F is given 0.032, L is 790 plus 790, that is 1580 meters. V squared we don't know, 2G, D is 0.225. So V 1.231, as I have told you, V is known, so Q is equal to A into V. A is pi D squared by 4 into V. Q comes out to be 0.0489 or 48.9 liter per second. You could have done this directly as 8FLQ squared also. Means this I could have equated to 8FLQ squared divided by G pi squared d raised to 5. Now in this only unknown is Q. Directly you could have got it because F is known, L is 1580, G 9.81, pi D is 0.225. So only unknown in this equation would have been Q. You should have got this value. Now this is, anyway, if you use FLV squared, there is one more calculation which will be coming into picture, Q equal to A into V. That is the advantage of using this equation. Okay. Now it is loss of head in sudden enlargement. Now till the last slide, that were the problems from pipes in parallel and pipes in series. Now this is head loss due to sudden expansion. Number of times this particular proof is asked in many question papers, so please study it in a proper way. Okay. Okay, the diagram is, the original diameter is D1, the velocity of the flow is considered as V1, and on a section AB over here the pressure is P1, right? And here the diameter is increased to D2, the velocity becomes V2, and on the section CD the pressure acting is P2, and you know that the pressure shown is this way here on section CD, and on AB the pressure is shown this way. So this is the control volume which is used for the analysis. The pressure at this particular point, which is called as a eddy space, it is a suction pressure with a P dashed as the magnitude. Now from the continuity equation, Q is equal to A1 V1 equal to A2 V2. So this diameter is known V1, this diameter is known V2. A1 V1 equal to A2 V2. Cross sectional area is A2 here, cross sectional area is A1 there. Now from Bernoulli's equation, Bernoulli's principle, P1 by gamma plus V1 squared by 2Z plus Z1 equal to P2 by gamma plus V2 squared by 2Z plus Z2 plus whatever the energy that loss is there, that will be considered over here, that is HL, head loss due to sudden expansion. Now here if you put everything and then HL equal to Z1 and Z2 I will cancel off because we are considering horizontal pipe, let's say. Hardly there is any difference in elevation. Now P1 minus P2 by gamma, okay, plus V1 squared minus V2 squared by 2G, this remains. Now this equation I called it as 2, that one is 1. Now further, okay, this is eddy formation. Now by momentum principle, what is momentum principle? If you remember, force is equal to mass rate of flow, F equal to m by t into change in velocity. If you remember that equation, the same thing I have used here, change in velocity V2 minus V1 or V1 minus V2, whatever way you have considered things. So change in velocity. Now here on the left hand side, what I have written is all the forces because of the pressure. Now you can just see here, this P1 is acting on this on an area A1, that's why the total force is P1 A1. On this area A2, P2 is acting, it is minus, because in the other direction it is going P2 A2. This is also suction pressure, it's acting this way, that's why minus, but it is suction, that's why again minus. The P dashed, the pressure multiplied by A2 minus A1, that is the difference in areas of A2 and A1, should be equal to rho into Q, which is mass rate of flow. Change in velocity is V2 minus V1. Force equal to mass rate of flow into change in velocity. Now P dashed, pressure in eddies, experimentally it is found that P dashed is equal to P1 itself. Because of that, you substitute for this P1, hence it becomes P1 A1 plus P2 A2. This becomes minus plus, and this is P1 A2 minus A1 equal to, this is gamma by G into Q V2 minus V1. Now if you rearrange the terms, P1 minus P2 is equal, into A2, P1, okay, here we have P1 A2 minus P2 A2, so P1 minus P2 into A2 is equal to gamma by G, because this P1 A1 cancels with this P1 A1, okay. So you'll be left with this only, that much, gamma by G Q V2 minus V1, or if you still rearrange, P1 minus P2 by gamma is equal to gamma by G Q divided by A2. Gamma has come here, G is there, V2 minus V1, but Q by A2 is V2, because of that I can place V2 there. So P1 minus P2 by gamma is equal to V2 by G V2 minus V1. Okay, this is equation 3. Now we got 1 and 3. We'll substitute this expression there and find out HL. Now by 2 and 3, HL is equal to, you can just see here, substitute that in there, HL equal to, this is placed there, V2 by G into V2 minus V1 plus this V1 squared minus V2 squared by 2G, right? If you simplify, HL comes out to be a very simple expression, V1 minus V2 whole squared by 2Z, which is head loss due to sudden expansion. That is the proof, or that is the derivation. Even this derivation is asked number of times in the examination, so you should study this.